Hi everyone, in today's video I'll be discussing financial distress signals your bank is tracking that may lead to them closing your account and what you can do to protect yourself. Banks have a system behind the scenes that tracks your card activity with signals like late payments on any account, not just the account that you have with that issuer. Return payments, overdrafts at that same bank, maxed out utilization, or rapidly rising balances are also included. This is called a behavior score, and it's not a public score, so there's no way for you to know what yours is unless maybe you apply for a card and are denied. Then you might receive a letter in the mail explaining why and what your behavior score is. I know someone who doesn't really have a lot of financial discipline, and every time they get a credit card offer in the mail, they apply, they max that card out, and they only make the minimum payments. This led to one of their cards with a $10,000 limit being closed without any warning, even though they were making the monthly on-time minimum payments for that card. I also know someone else who fell on rough times and wasn't able to make the monthly minimum payments on their credit cards, except for one card that they had with Old Navy. They were still making the minimum payments with that card, and Old Navy did not care. They still closed that person's card, even though they maintained their minimum payments with Old Navy. Now let's talk about the 3 distress signals that are likely to trigger a credit card shutdown or a credit limit decrease. The first is returned payments or non-sufficient funds, which is commonly abbreviated as NSF. A return payment happens mainly when your account has insufficient funds. This can happen with checks, electronic transfers, or credit card payments. There are other times where you might experience a return payment, and that could be incorrect banking information, that could be a closed account, or anything similar to that. If this happens once, it may or may not cause banks to review your account, and it may or may not lead to the banks closing your account depending on what they see. But if this is something that has happened multiple times, it is very likely to lead to a freeze, a limit cut, or account closure. The second distress signal is overdrafts and negative balances, especially if you have a credit card with the same issuer that you have a checking account with. Examples of this are Chase, Bank of America, and Wells Fargo. Negative balances, repeated overdrafts, or returned checks can push the bank to close your credit card to eliminate risk, because credit card companies don't just look at your relationship with them, they also look at your relationship and behavior with other companies as well. And because issuers are looking at your whole credit profile, if you miss a payment on a car loan or something similar, or your credit card with another issuer, it will trigger a review, or is very likely to trigger a review. Typically 30 days late will trigger the review, and 60 days late will drastically lower your behavior score and lead to account closure if it hasn't already taken place. Now here are some smaller red flags that add fuel to the fire. The first is utilization spikes. If within a short period of time your credit utilization goes from 5% to something outrageous like 80% and it stays that way, it obviously affects your credit score and it puts all eyes on you. I will say that my credit utilization does fluctuate. I'm not someone that ever tries to stay below 10% or 30%. It doesn't really bother me too much because I have really good credit, and my credit score sometimes will drop a couple points and then within 2 months it'll go back to what it was, drops, goes back to what it was. But depending on what your credit score is, it dropping a couple points every few months really won't matter too much, and it's nothing to panic about. The second is multiple new accounts and rapid balance growth. I gave the example earlier about the person I know who's always opening new credit cards and maxing them out. To the banks, this looks like you are borrowing money to stay afloat or mismanaging money with no intention of paying that money back. And a lot of the time, one of those 2 options is the case. Maybe both are the case. These next 2 I feel like are a little bit more well known. And the first is just that if you update your income when they ask you to fill out that form, I think maybe once a year or so they do this, and you report that your income is lower, your credit limit will probably be lowered as well. And next, if you apply for any type of hardship or forbearance, your card might be locked or closed. Once the bank system flags your profile, one of 2 things usually happens. You will get a credit limit decrease, or it'll be an immediate shutdown on your account. Then you will receive a letter in the mail, and the reason will usually be delinquency, return payment, or risk of non-payment. And sometimes, depending on how they're feeling, you might receive that letter in the mail after they've already closed your account and there's no warning or time to prepare. So if you were to receive a letter in the mail today, it wouldn't be because of something you did today or yesterday or last week. It would be because of something that took place 30 to 60 days prior. If you feel like you are at risk of account closure or significant credit limit decrease, here are some tips. The first one is to set up auto pay to the minimum due on each card every month. And then throughout the month, if you are able, you can make manual extra payments to the card, but at the very least, you know the minimum payment is taken care of. There have been several times, I think about 3 now, where I have had the money to make my card payment and I just had a really busy week and I forgot. And I don't remember until a couple days later. Usually, if it's just a couple of days, it's not going to affect your accounts or your credit at all, but you might not have remembered until 30 days later, and at that point, it's too late. So autopay can be helpful if you're someone who's constantly forgetting across multiple different cards. The first time it happened to me, it was with American Express on, I think, a business card, and I also have a checking account with them, so I was like, please, like, you can see the money is there, I just forgot to pay it, and I asked them to waive the fee, and they did because it was my first time. I haven't done it with them since, but I did do it with Capital One. I didn't feel like going through Capital One because, I don't know, Capital One's customer service is just not as easily accessible for me like American Express, so I just let them have their $30. Usually you can get that late fee back if it's your first time. The next tip is to have a small cash buffer. It can be $100 to $300 in your checking account so that if your balance is fluctuating, your card payment doesn't bounce. If the idea of this doesn't sound overwhelming or like it would do more harm than good for you, you can work on paying down the card with the highest utilization first, or do a balance transfer to a card that has 0% interest for however many months. That way you can work on paying down your actual balance and not have the monthly payments you are making going mostly towards interest. But just be careful because sometimes people do balance transfers and end up maxing out the new cards as well. So like I said, if it won't do more harm than good, that is a good option. The goal is to lower the utilization as quickly as humanly possible and as much as you can afford. If one returned payment does happen, call the bank before they reattempt the second payment and see if you can switch to a new date, so that way 2 back-to-back return payments don't happen, because if they do, that will increase your chances of account closure. And if you know a payment is going to be late, contact the card issuer's account services or risk operations department to see if there's any type of one-time courtesy they can offer, a plan they can help you set up, or anything they can do to work with you instead of just taking action against you. Now, if you've already received a letter saying that your account has been closed or that your limit has been decreased, there are some things you can try to rectify the situation, but obviously it's not guaranteed to work once they already have made their decision. First thing you can try is calling account services or the credit risk department and explaining your situation. It could be something like your paycheck posted late, but you have all the money in your account now. You can also try to add details about what you're doing to make sure that it doesn't happen again, like putting your payments on auto pay, and then ask the representative to make a note of that in your account and have them reconsider the decision. If you had a high balance for a while, you can ask them to refresh your profile. Some issuers might not give you the original balance right away, but they can review your account again after 30 days, 60 or 90 days of on-time payments and lower utilization. So even if you haven't done anything wrong with a specific issuer, they're always watching you and may close your account if they feel like you are becoming a risk. Always remember, if you have experienced a limit decrease or account closure, you can rebuild and get back on track. Let me know if anything like this has ever happened to you in the comments and how you were able to fix it. I will see you guys in the next one.